Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths, formerly Crafting with Lee. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute farmhouse wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm using a 12-inch wire frame this time, and I'm going to use two different colors of burlap. I'm sure there are lots of different ways to make a wreath with different color burlaps. This is just the way that's easiest for me. I do suggest if you make this wreath to make sure you might want to get 2 rolls of burlap and do 2 rows instead of the one that I'm doing, just because you can see the wire frame on the side when I'm done. You cannot see it at all from the front, but I just gathered them together and used a zip tie to attach it to the wire frame right at a crossbar. And now I'm just pulling the white burlap through first, and I'm getting it where I think I want, how big I want my, I guess it'd be poofs or bubbles to be. And I'm actually going to measure it. I believe they were about 5 inches. Right after I did my white poof, I'm going to go straight to the natural burlap and then pull it through. And then I'm going to use the existing poof to measure all the other ones after. I just kind of push them up against each other and see if they're the same size. And then I just alternate back and forth. This is a really super simple wreath to make. It looks like it's really complicating, but it's not. And it looks so pretty when it's done. I'm just going to finish this first section so you can see. I believe I fit 5 poofs into it. And you could use so many different colors. You could do like a red, white, and blue wreath with the burlap. That would be really pretty. They sell this burlap at Walmart, so you can get it in a lot of different colors. Alright, now to go to the next section, I just jump across the crossbar and continue doing what I was doing. And then I'm just kind of showing you as I went along how it looks. Alright, once I get to my final section, I'm going to have to attach the ends of the burlap in 2 sections because I run out of white before I run out of the natural color. So I'm just using a zip tie to attach it to the wire frame, and then I will pull my natural burlap through and attach it with a zip tie. I really like the way the wreath turned out. I don't like the fact that you can see the wire frame from the side, but I could probably go back with some burlap and wrap it around it if it became a big deal. But if you got 2 rolls, you could do 2 sections. Alright, I'm just going to use a zip tie to attach that and then trim it away. And that's what it looks like when it's done, but you could see the wire on the side. Alright, I'm going to make a bow for this wreath. If I could go back and redo it, I would make the bow a lot smaller than what I did. But I'm not a big fan of taking bows apart and redoing them just because the ribbon gets really creased and crinkled and it just doesn't look the same. So I just went with it. And I'm just using my bow dabber just because it's easier. I would probably do about 2 inches smaller than what I did on those loops. It doesn't look horrible at the end, it's just I think the bow's too big for the size of the wreath. I'm used to making the deco mesh wreaths where they're a lot bigger than the burlap. Burlap is a lot smaller. Plus it's a 12-inch frame. And I'm just doing kind of a basic bow, kind of like what you would make for your Christmas bows for your green wreaths. It's just a super simple. And I just pulled it out of my bow dabber, and I'm just gonna add a zip tie to it. I didn't pull the zip tie completely tight yet because I'll go through and fluff it. And I decided to use this color for my center, so I'm just folding it into 3s, and I'm just figuring out how big I want to make it. And I cut it slightly bigger than what I was going to need. And then I just fold it like that, and it fits perfectly over the center. And I'm going to take the 2 ends and overlap them on top of each other. Having trouble talking today. See, I kind of lay them over each other, and then I'm just going to add a zip tie right there. And you just feed it under it. And I'm going to go ahead and add my pipe cleaner, which is what I'm going to use to attach it to the wreath. I was getting confused because I had left the zip tie and still on there. It's just because it's easier to hold it when you're fluffing your bow. All right, I'm going to pull that really tight, and then I'm just going to trim away the zip tie and the excess ribbon. See, I think it looks so pretty like that. And now I'm trying to figure out what size tails I want. I was going to do a smaller tail, and then for some reason I went with the bigger tail. I ended up cutting them down. I mainly did that because once you put the ribbon behind the bow, you lose some of it because it's folded. And I'm just going to dovetail the ends. And just like looking at the bow, I just kind of pull it down to the sides. Yeah, like that. And then I'm going to add a zip tie to that and add it to the bow as well. Using a lot of zip ties for this particular bow. And it was easier to feed it through first because I did fight with it for a minute. And then I put it where I want it. I put it where the tails are even, and then I pull it tightly. And I'm just going to trim the excess zip ties away. Okay, so I decided to do different sections of ribbon in with the burlap. I was originally going to just put the ribbon kind of weaving in and out of it, but I didn't like the way it looked. And I am hot gluing these together just because they were separating when I first tried to put them in there. You could see the one I've already added right there. I just found this to be a lot easier, and I needed them to measure at 5.5 inches across, so they would be about the same width as the burlap. I just thought this was a neat idea. I'd never actually seen anything like this. The hot glue does go through the burlap. It doesn't so much with the other ribbon, so I probably should have just done it laying down like that. But once it dries, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I just gather the bottom. And like I said, I use a lot of zip ties in this wreath. I'm going to put one zip tie laying across the loop. And this is going to be the one I use to attach it to the wreath. And then I use the red one to kind of squeeze it all together, hold it together, and to hold the zip tie in place. And I use red because it doesn't really matter what color it is. You won't be able to see it when it's inside the wreath. But if that bothers you, you can always use clear, brown, or black. And then to add it, I stick it in there, and I don't put it around the outside. I put it around the 2 center bars. The zip tie, I put it around the 2 center bars. Like that. And then pull it tightly. And then you can go back and, shift it around to get it where you need it. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. This was I decided to do this after the fact. Because like I said, I was going to do the weave through thing, but it just did not look right. I could see a little bit of the ribbon sticking out, so I just cut that away. And I tried to space them evenly. And now I'm just going to add my sign. I'm just going to feed the pipe cleaner through to the back. I actually made this sign, and I'll link here to the video where I made the sign so you can see how to do it. And I just wrapped the pipe cleaners around the frame, and I'm going to do the same thing with the bow. You just feed it through to the 2 center ones and then twist it. And I was trying to make those tails work, and they were just too long. I should have went with my gut to begin with and do the smaller tails, but it was easy to just trim them away. And see how big the bow is? I would have done probably half that size if I went back and redid it. The bow's pretty, it's just really big for this wreath. But that's it. That's how I made my burlap farmhouse wreath. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching, and if you learned anything or liked my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.